record. We've got 9 on. So I realized I hadn't posted about our meeting until the day of. Usually I like to, at least on Tuesday, post about our Wealth Wednesdays, and I forgot. So anyway, who has someone they want to recognize, someone they're impressed with, someone they're proud of, someone that's helping you, someone that's going out of their way to do a 3-way call with you, whatever it is. If anyone has someone they want to recognize, pipe up, speak up, raise your hand, whatever you want to do. Go like this or just speak. Anybody want to share? Nobody? Bueller? Well, okay. So no one's got a shout out. Andrea, I'm just doing shout outs. Do you have any shout outs?
I have a shout out for Susan Wenker, who boldly asked one of her new product users if she wanted to go to Nashville, and she's coming.
Yes, dude. I saw that. She's only been on the products for 2 months.
I mean, how flippin' cool is that? I am just tickled.
So cool. That's so exciting. Does she live in Atlanta?
She does, yeah. Susan met her at PTA.
Oh.
On the PTA, yeah. And she's a yoga teacher and Pilates instructor, and she seems super cool. So I'm excited to hear.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Oh my gosh. It's so fun when we have people that are like, yeah, let's just go for it.
I have a shout out for Camille because I see her on here. So Camille was really, really thinking long and hard about one of her friends who she just genuinely thought you just could really use the opportunity for Isagenix. And she thought long and hard, and she sent me a message, and it was that she wanted to send her friend, and it was an incredible message. It was perfect. It didn't need anything. She knew exactly what to say. And her friend came back and said no, that she'd had experience with this industry before, and it just wasn't for her. And of course Camille was bummed, but she handled it with like, well, now I know. Yeah. And I think that there's so much learning and growing in that, and the fact, and now it's like, and I didn't get to say this to her, so I'll say it now, but it's like now you've released her energy from your mind. And what that does is that now allows new energy to come in for the right person to come along. And so experiencing that no and hearing that no and being okay with that no is like just as important as signing on a huge business builder. Like they're equally important. And so I'm proud of you, Camille, for really thinking about that and putting yourself out there and asking her, because guys, we don't know unless we ask. I mean, if somebody doesn't ask you, you don't know. So you always have to think about their perspective. If you don't ask them, you don't know, and they don't know. So kind of relieve yourself of that and let go of the outcome and just ask. You just never know. So
I love it.
Those are my shout outs.
I think it's a huge win. I love that. Celebrating the no's. I mean, that's a great no to celebrate, in my opinion, because no one wants to be left wondering. Like, that sucks, So that's awesome. Andrea, do you want to just, I literally just started by seeing if anyone had any shout outs, and that's all I've said.
So. Yeah. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited, actually. I've been sitting here just kind of thinking about what I want to talk to you guys about. And that I get excited when I get to share with you guys. And in the spirit of my kids going back to school tomorrow and me going into my 5th year of not being back in the classroom because of Isagenix, I want to do a little mindset coaching with you guys, because this is my where I shine and where I really enjoy sharing. And Amanda and I were kind of talking about some things that we wanted to kind of talk about as we go into celebration next week, whether you're coming or you can't make it, but we know that you're going to be here with us in spirit. I was reflecting back on when I was a teacher on the first day of school, and I always had my first day of school spiel. And I would stand in front of my students. Of course, I taught high school, right? And I would stand in front of my students on the first day of school, and I would say, listen, every single one of you in here has a 100% in my class right now. A 100%. Every single one of you are starting at the exact same place. You're not starting at a 0. You're starting at a 100. Where you end up is completely up to you. I will promise you that I will give every single one of you equal access to the content that I'm providing and access to me. I promise you that I will show up every single day for you, and I will do my job, but what you do on your end is up to you. And there are some of you in this classroom who are sitting here, and you've already decided that you're not going to do well in this class because of your past experiences in an English literature class. Some of you in here are sitting in this classroom, and you've decided because of what you've heard about me as a teacher through rumors, because we know how rumors and stories about teachers go, right? You always think you know what you're getting into, that you've already heard that I grade really hard. So you've already decided that you're not going to try on your essays. Or some of you are sitting here and you've already decided that you already know you're going to get an A in my class. You've already decided it. You've already decided that you're going to put the work in that it takes to do well in this class. So standing in front of a room of 25 to 30 kids, telling them that they all have the exact same opportunity. They are literally starting day one with a 100%. They don't have to work up to it. They already have it. The only thing that they can do from that point forward is lose it. Their past experiences and the stories that they are sitting there telling themselves, regardless of what I'm telling them, is ultimately what their outcome is going to be. Now, some of them are going to build confidence. Some of them are going to want to work harder. Some of them are going to surprise themselves. But for the most part, they are pretty much going to end up, I could predict where every single one of them are going to end up. And I know my teacher friends understand what I'm talking about. So I think about that because we are all in a very similar situation. We know that with Isagenix, we're all given the same opportunity. We are all starting the class with a 100%, right? There is no discrimination in Isagenix. And how relieving is that? That Jim and Kathy have created something where every single one of us can absolutely end up with a 100%. But the stories that we're telling ourselves, our backstories, our current situations, our inability, or I don't even want to say inability, but our lack of trust in ourselves to be able to look forward and look at this as a long-term game is we lack in that. And, I would often say to my students, well, they would, I mean, of course, it's like the typical, like, well, why are we learning this? Why do I need to know this? And I would say, well, there may be a day where you need to think critically about what you are, we're learning Shakespeare, we're learning difficult language, and we're learning history, because there's going to be a day when you need to think critically, right? Are you ever going to be asked, what did Shakespeare say in Hamlet's line, blah, blah, blah? No, of course. That's never going to be a thing that you're going to be asked in life unless you pursue a literature path. But what I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to think critically, because there's going to be a day when you are going to be challenged in life, and this skill is going to be valuable to you. So sometimes we're so in the moment, we're so short-sighted that we don't understand that the pains that we have to go through and the struggles that we have to go through are the exact same things that we need to do for the long haul. for the long term, for the big picture. And so Amanda and I were talking about this because, I think sometimes the things that we are hearing from, and guys, when I speak, I'm speaking to you, but I'm speaking to myself as well. And Amanda is speaking to herself as well. We are the same. And it's reminding ourselves that this is a long game, if that is what you have decided for yourself. So when I did my call, I guess that was like 2 weeks ago, the last few weeks have been insane, with Elisa, Emily, and Sarah, before we even got on the call, I asked them to come to the call prepared to tell me, what have you absolutely decided? Like, what have you decided about your business? Like, what are you certain about? Because when you decide something, and Amanda and I learned this from Rod Harrison 5 years ago. When we decide, the word decide literally means to cut off. Like, it's the Latin form of to cut. So it means to cut off. Like, there is no going back. You have cut off in the past. So when you decide something, you are only moving forward on that decision. Whether you decide yes or no, it doesn't matter. That's your decision. Now, some of you think you've decided, and then you haven't really. You're dabbling, or you waffle back and forth, or you go back on your decision. Then you haven't really decided. And so I asked them to come to the call with what have you decided? What do you know for certain?
Yeah.
Carrie, I think you're unmuted, and Abby as well.
It's all me. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I think everybody else is muted. So, it's kind of like what I was saying to my students on that first day. Like, what are you going to decide about this class? Or if you've struggled in your lit classes in the past, what are you going to decide today in, 9th grade lit or 12th grade lit this semester that's going to be different? If you want a different outcome, what's going to be different in your decisions? Are you going to spend more time with me one-on-one? Are you going to do your homework? Are you going to, come in and see me during tutoring? Like, what are the things that are going to be different in your decisions to give you a different outcome? And I think that that's really where we can all have our own personal gut checks for the long term. If you have decided that Isagenix is going to be a solution for you and your family, for your health and for your financial future, what have you absolutely decided you're willing to do? And, I actually heard a great podcast today by Rachel Hollis about procrastination. And she said something that really stuck with me. And it was something that I needed to hear, which I was so grateful for, because that's why I love podcasts, because there's always going to be something where you're like, yep, that's what I needed to hear. And it was a hard conversation that I needed to hear. And it was, the thing that you are avoiding, the thing that seems like the most hard thing for you to do right now, is the one thing you should be doing. And that's why we procrastinate. We know what we need to do, right? Like, we know what it takes to get healthy. Like, we know we need to stop drinking the alcohol. We know we need to run that extra mile. We know what we need to do. We know we need to cleanse, right? We know we need to do these things, but we procrastinate on doing them because we know they're going to be hard, and we're going to have to give up something that's good, or that we think is good, or that we think is comfortable, and it's going to make us uncomfortable. And, that was what I needed to hear in this moment, because there's some things that I'm doing that are really hard right now, and I've been procrastinating on them because they're so hard, and I worry about them shaking up the comfort level that I've created. But I'm ready for that next level. I know I'm ready, and that's what it's going to take for me to make progress on that. So that's really what I want to kind of leave you guys with today as we head into celebration next week. Guys, we're going to have a blast. Like, it is ridiculous fun. And if you've been to an event before, you know that it's ridiculous fun. And I am guilty personally of going to these events and just like loving it and, hearing it, but not being the student that I need to be. And Amanda and I talked the other day, and I again, I'm speaking to myself just as much as I'm speaking to you guys. We genuinely, and when we say this, we mean this, like, we're not blowing smoke up our own asses. We're not blowing smoke up your ass. Like, we genuinely, Amanda and I talk about this. We feel it. We mean it. We believe this is absolutely one of the strongest teams in Isagenix. When you look around and you know the teams that are strong, you know names like Laura Stevens, you know names like Zach Sloman, and you go to these events and you see these teams and you're like, damn, like they're a wicked strong team. And Amanda and I, we feel that we are the same, if not stronger than those teams. We have attracted the most incredible people. You guys are unbelievable. You give us life every single day. And yes, you're right, Allie, we are better. And so as we head into celebration, I want you guys to hold on to that. I want you to remember that people are watching us. People know who we are. We are making a ripple in this company. And when we walk in there with pride. We remember to clean up our trash. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, you guys. Why do we got to leave our trash? Okay. Can we just please clean up our coffee cups and stuff underneath our seats? Be the leader, set the example, ask the people around you, hey, before you leave, can you pick up your trash? That's right, Camille. It's so frustrating. And that's not other people's, anyway, that's just soapbox. Clean up after yourselves. But that is an example of setting an example, right? And go in there and be the students. Ask yourself, what is my outcome when I leave here? And how can I, because we're all going to hear different things. Why are we all going to hear different things? Because we're all in different spaces. And that's what's so, oh, there's like a flea on my computer. We're all in different spaces and we're all coming in with different experiences. And it's the beauty of being on a team. It's the beauty of being in a classroom, right? I can teach the same content to 28 students, and then I can send them to go do group work, and every single group is going to come back with different experiences because of how they collaborated and how they worked through things. And so when we come back from celebration, that's what we're going to do. We're going to share. We want all of you to share so that those of you who aren't able to make it can feel what we felt, and you can gather the content that we were able to gather. And I am taking responsibility for that, especially this year, to say things have to change for me. And I am so excited to go and learn with fresh eyes. Like, I want to walk away from this celebration like I walked away from my very first celebration. I'm going in there like a brand new student. And I am so excited to share these experiences with you guys and to honestly just feel very fresh and excited and ready to go and give myself that permission, like that student on the first day of school, to say, you know what, despite my past story and despite my past experiences, this teacher is telling me that I have the opportunity to excel in her class, even if I've never excelled in a lit class in the past. So what am I willing to do? What changes am I willing to make to have that outcome that I want? And that's what I want to challenge all of you to tonight, is to really think about, where am I willing to shift? You don't have to change everything. Remember, what you focus on, you find. So what is that area that you are willing to shift and, just change and commit to and focus on to have that different outcome? And you're all going to have different answers. And then as you think about moving forward and you think about growing your business, the details you all have. We've told you this a million times. If you need an answer, the answer is there. My suggestion, look for the answer first and then come ask somebody if you can't find it. Because as a teacher, if I have given my students the answer before and they come and ask me, I'm going to ask them to turn around and go back to their notes and go find it. And if they still can't find it, then they can come ask me again. but I think we're too quick to just go ask without trying to find first. And that guys, that's not us being lazy and not wanting to tell you the answer. That's us empowering you. Because the truth is, if you want to build a team like Amanda and I have built, you've got to take ownership of that. And you have to empower yourself so that you can in turn empower others. You have to become the teacher. Speaking of shout outs, I want to shout out Morgan on this because she is excellent. She really is. She will come to me often and she will say, I already looked up the answer to this and this is what I found. Is it right? Like, that's a teacher's dream come true, you guys. Because she's looking for that validation. She wants to make sure she's right, which is fine, but she did the work first, and then we can go from there and we can tweak it if we need to. Morgan's also great about coming to me and saying, hey, guess what? I just changed my screensaver to my next goal. If I don't show you, it's not real, right? And it makes her nervous. It's uncertainty. It's uncomfortable. But she sends it to me and Amanda and probably Amy and Elisa as well. And she's like, this makes me uncomfortable, but I'm showing you because this is putting it in the universe. And she does it every time she hits a goal. She changes her screensaver. It's brilliant. So, and others of you do this too, but it's just taking ownership. Go back to how you were as a student. What were you like as a student? What were your strengths? What were your weaknesses? And where were some moments when because we all went through school, right? Some of us more recently than others, but that's a common experience, right? So we understand education, we understand classes, we understand school, we understand struggle. And so take yourself back to that and think about how can you apply that to your business, because we are learning every single day. That's really all I had. Allie, I think that you had something to share, right? Were you going to share was that your value pack revelation you had today? Is that what you were going to share? Is that the right video?
Yeah.
I like your hair, girl.
So I was literally sitting down with a new customer who happens to go to our gym. Also, hey Greg. Hey Greg. Sorry, the dogs are wanting to play, of course. But anyway, so I was talking to a new customer at the gym, and she has enrolled 2 people this week already, but she has another person that she was talking with at work because she's literally only been using it for 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks, something like that. And people are starting to notice. And I told her this was going to happen. I prepared her for this. And I said, and when they ask, this is what you're going to say. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to help you with the person that helps me. And so we've gotten there, and I've showed her the compensation plan. I drew it out like I would for anybody else. I've done on live videos multiple times. And of course she was and I was like, don't worry about memorizing all this. Just know that you can go share with 2 people in the same week. And so, again, we were talking this morning, and I was drawing it out, and I was writing the numbers, trying to figure out exactly what her net cost would be. And it came out to $10. And I was like, wait, this cannot be right. So, I can draw it out, Amanda, if you want me to, with my handy dandy whiteboard. Okay. So it's going to be backwards. My apologies, but so this is as if so when you come in and this person just created or changed their account over to associate, they get 2 free enrollment codes. If they enroll with a value pack, they also have these free enrollment codes. So this is what I was saying. This would be the new person. Oh, you can't see that marker. Let's go darker. Let's try this one. That's even better. It's working out so well for me. Sorry, guys. Come on. Okay. So this would be the new person that you're bringing in. So we're just going to draw them a little happy face. Now, if they come in with a value pack, so their value pack is going to cost them $589, right? Now, let's just say you do have the free enrollment code for this, because this is a new person. And that's creating a consultant, an instant consultant. So that already makes the value pack a little bit discounted. So it's going to be $560. Again, I apologize, it's backwards. Plus tax, depending on where you are. It does ship for free, remember? So let's say they come in and bring 2 people in as value packs. Well, we all know that both of those are going to double. So that's going to be $400. Plus, they've done this within the 30 days, and the Crystal Consultant bonus is still going on. So that's an extra $150. So that makes it down to $10. It's a $10 holla. So, I mean, and if this really wanted to go one step further, let's think about the residual aspect. So let's say, roughly 300 over here and roughly 300 over here. So they would have 600 and 300. Am I right?
Yep.
So then you subtract $54. Jumped ahead. And they're in the positive $44. So they literally got paid $44. Like, who wouldn't do this for $44 that you're going to earn? I was mind blown.
I love it. And sometimes it's like you knew that. Like, we knew that.
Yes, I knew it, but it was like,
it just like clicks. I know. That's amazing. I love that, Allie. And thank you for sharing. And on that same vein, I heard something today. I have been in major fill my mind mode lately. I have been listening to all the things, and that is the phase that I am in right now. And it's been so good for me. It's getting me fired the F up. But I heard something today that really got me thinking. It just clicked. Again, it's like when things click. And somebody was talking about pricing your products. And obviously we don't price our products. Isagenix does that for us. But one of the biggest, obviously, obstacles or objections that we get is cost, right? Like, we can all agree on that. So this guy said, and I was like, God, how easy would this be to say to somebody? He said, the bigger the transaction, the bigger the transformation. I was like, well, dang. Because it's true. Like, the more and it's not like our products are overpriced. We know that. We know their value. But like, sometimes that mind shift where like that we are in the business of helping people get transformations, right? So that just simple, hey, you know what? I know this might feel uncomfortable, but the bigger the transaction, the bigger the transformation. That could change everything for people. So hold on to that. But then absolutely. And I can also show you how to make $44 and get this for free. Like, it's that simple. Amanda, was there anything that you wanted to close? You wanted to close with, Camille,
I don't even need to
unmute yourself, Camille. Go ahead.
Oh, I can I? I just wanted to share one quick thing that I think I shared with Amanda and Andrea. It was last Saturday night. I decided to be young and go out with some friends, and then I was tired after that. But anyway, I went out with friends in downtown Atlanta, and in my Lyft, I was home by like 10 and I was pooped. But anyway, I was in my Lyft, and the driver, which I'd heard this on calls and things like that, but the driver, I don't know how we got on the topic, but she talked, or maybe I asked her how long she's been doing Lyft or whatever, but she talked about how she's been doing Lyft, and then she talked about how she does Lyft, and that she also does driving for Amazon and all of this stuff. So it hit me that she's doing things to make ends meet, make money and things like that. So I just asked her, well, how do you like that? And then she said, well, it's okay. Like, I do like the idea of being able to work whenever I want to work on my own time frame. And then that was my opening. And I was just like, well, you know what? I do network marketing, and that allows me also to work on my own time and in my pockets of time whenever I want. And it just led to this conversation. And she started to talk about how she looked into all these other companies and things like that. And I asked her if I could just send her a message on Facebook. Now, I'll admit I haven't heard back from her yet, but I have sent her a message and like a video of and things. But just the whole thing, she did say that she's all about that residual income. Like that's where she wants to get to, where she doesn't need to leave home. And that was like a big face my fear type thing, because I've heard the stories of people trying to engage the Uber driver, the Lyft driver. And for me to try to think of a way to, it's hard for me to think of ways to work it into the conversation without coming across as icky. And it just naturally came about. So I just wanted to share that in case others out there find themselves in a Lyft or Uber. And there you go. That was
Totally.
it.
I love that, Camille. That story is perfect. And you know what? Now you've done it, and now you'll do it again. And
Yeah.
you'll feel when it's right. And I think that like servers, Uber drivers, whatever, those kind of people who we are temporarily with are the perfect people to practice on, because like just what do you have to lose, right? And you never know. I mean, she may not ever respond to you, or she may. My experience mostly has been they don't, or the conversation usually runs flat. But then I also know that Zach Slobin enrolled his limo driver in Hawaii, who was driving all the people from Top Achievers, and none of the millionaires ever talked to this limo driver. He kept driving these millionaires back and forth. Zach and Eden finally talked to him, and dude went like 6-star. I mean, something ridiculous. Like he blew up, and that's really what propelled their business. So, right? Like you never know, but the practice is gold, right? That just putting yourself out there and having that conversation, and it's empowering, right? And it gives you energy, and it's just like doing that over and over again is really, again, it's like what I was saying earlier. It's like you're telling the universe what you want. Like you are being so clear to the universe, like, hey, I am willing to be bold. I am willing to put myself out there. I am willing to be told no. And that's just clearing the energy around you to be able to attract exactly what you're supposed to be able to attract. So I love that. Yay. Good job. No street hot dog. I'm totally going to get another hot dog in Nashville, though. I'm going to eat 2 at the same time.
Oh, God. That's awkward.
I'm going to feed one to Amanda.
No, you're not ever feeding me a street dog ever. I'm going to go ahead and publicly put that on the record. Andrea.
Lady in the Tramp, that shows. Oh, it's like true love.
Oh
It could
my
be our
God.
podcast cover.
Okay, this is getting awkward. No, I'm kidding. I love this call, and I love everyone shares. And what we're doing is we're having conversations, and we're networking. And I think sometimes we forget that. I'm just gonna throw it out there. You guys, we're in network marketing. Stop hiding behind your computer. Meet people, compliment them. All Camille did was ask questions. You guys don't have to overthink it. I mean, really, you don't have to overthink it. The best people that you can ever meet are people that, like Andrea said, are serving, or they're servers, or they're receptionists, or they're your massage therapist. So don't be afraid of just asking questions and complimenting. And it's amazing what can happen. So those are awesome. And I love the whole deciding thing. Like with the no's, if you've decided you're going to do this, when someone says no, then you're not going to get caught up with that. That means you're not all in. The people that are all in are not going to shut down when they have a no, or shut down when their best friend says they don't want to do the business. I have been shut down so many times, but I've decided, and I made that decision. I was all in. So I can't wait to see you guys just be all in. And instead of us, it's okay to share when something stings. Okay. At the same time, we're all human. And I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy to vent, but letting it really, really shake you up and rattle you, life's way too short. And I like what Andrea said. You said, Andrea, about Camille, and going to her friend. That has cleared up the energy space for her to find the people that want it. And to me, that's such a cool feeling. And I'll say that's how I feel about people that were in our business, on our team. I do everything I can and then some to coach people. And it's my favorite part about what we do is mentoring people. When someone leaves my business, I'm like, see ya. I wish you all the best. Thank you. Because I want people that want this. And, it's a blessing. The people that have left has allowed me to focus on the people that want it. So we can start viewing this as a blessing when people, not that we want people to leave our business, but at the same time, we don't want to feel that we have to drag people. We don't want to have to feel, so you can only do so much. And, a lot of us are having people that are interested in learning more about the income opportunity. Maybe they're already enrolled. And you're like, oh my gosh, they want to know. They were on the call and they loved what Marie said. And they're on day 8 of the products, and what now? And so guys, the best thing to do is to schedule a 3-way so they can immediately feel plugged into the team. And it's something I don't know if I see us doing that much. We all know that we want to schedule a 3-way, especially if you're new to sharing, as far as talking about if they're not yet enrolled, right? But when they're enrolled and you have someone that really is interested in the income, get them on the phone with someone else too. And all 3 of you are together. But the second thing is, and something I'm not seeing as much either, and the only reason I say that is because I see a lot of people that are like, what's the call number? And I know still we can give people that information. They'll delete it or whatever, but like making a big deal out of people that want the business of plugging into these calls is instrumental to their success and yours. And I go ahead and I send them the information, like save it in your alarm. Here's the recording, or set your alarm, not save it in your alarm. But and I have an honest conversation with every person that I enroll that has interest in the income, and even if they're not yet enrolled. And I tell people, I'm like, this is not easy. It's amazing. It's been a blessing, but it takes grit. It takes hard work. And I tell people this when they're new and they're ready to start sharing. I'm like, listen, I'll tell them before they do the first post, or I'll tell them if they're sending a bunch of texts to some people, I'm like, you're going to get a lot of people think you're crazy. A lot of people are going to think you're crazy. A lot of people are going to say no. You're going to have people that you enroll that are going to return the product. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there right now. But here's where you're going to do really well, is when you still stay the course. And then when you don't let that get to you. Because I had so many no's. I still do every day. But when you can push through, you're going to find those people that are open to the product, and they literally have never felt better in their entire lives, and they call you sobbing because you have completely changed their life. You're going to find those people that want to run with you and see the vision, and they're able to leave their teaching job so they can pick up their kid from kindergarten, right? Or be home when the school bus takes them home. So I literally am setting them up but what happens is you're going to find those people that want to run with you. Nothing feels better. And I want to tell all of you that are listening right now, nothing feels better than to have those people that are running with you and having 2 or 3 or 4, and then it's going to keep growing. So keep showing up and don't let the no's throw you off, because your people are going to be there. The more you're inviting people to learn more, the more you're getting uncomfortable and you're getting out of just being behind your computer. We got to stop just posting. We keep posting, but don't just rely on that. So I love this call. You guys are awesome. I'm so excited to see you all so soon. And I wanted just to say that. And I want to also say, if you're not going to Celebration, go to isagenixevents.com and pick the next event, even if you're going alone. And I know they're not going to be live streaming Celebration this year. I wish they were. But Tammy Parenti will be doing a lot of live video footage from Celebration on Global Exec Facebook page. So you can pretend you're there, take notes. She's going to get a lot of good stuff. So you're not going to completely miss out. Although it's not too late if you want to join us. For those on the fence still, I had to throw that out there. Andrea, do you have anything else you want to add or end with?
Nope.
Okay.
Wait, I do.
Oh, Morgan, is that you?
It's Morgan.
It's me. I have one thing. I don't normally listen to our calls a ton in my office. Well, on my office, my desk area. But I have this thing I printed out. So I actually like decorated my office with a ton of inspiring things that I found, Instagram, Facebook, pictures, and I decorated my whole window here. But I felt like it really tied into what we were saying, and it's been staring at me. And it says, it's from Brendan Bouchard, his Instagram, and he posted saying, if no one thinks you're crazy, you're probably not yet operating at the outer limits of your potential. Think bigger. So I think that it just really tied in. It was staring me in the face. And this is the biggest thing too, kind of like what Amanda was just saying, like, if you're not crazy out in public and people aren't saying that, you know, you're crazy and you're full blown supporting what you're doing and saying, yeah, I am, I guess just be you. That's it. But I felt like it tied in really crazy. And I mean, he knows what he's talking about. So.
I love that. I love that. It's so true. And think about it, guys. When we see the Emily Vavras and we see the Laura Stevens and we look at their page and they're so all in and it's like exudes confidence. It doesn't look dumb. I mean, what looks dumb is when you randomly post and then you don't do anything for a month, or like you're just not looking consistent. When you're in and out, that looks dumb. Just, you know, that looks stupid. So like embrace your crazy. Like Andrea has. She wants to eat 2 street hot dogs and shove one down my throat. Like that's crazy. Legit. So let's embrace our crazy and let's keep with the Face Your Fears campaign and the respect of, I want to hear when you're having conversations. I want you to tell me on our page when you're talking to your Lyft drivers. So that's the heartbeat of what we're doing. We should have Face Your Fears posts once a day from every single one of you. That is the goal. To do one thing every day that scares you. So are you guys down? Like, can we do that? Can we all say, yeah, I'm going to do one thing that scares me? Maybe it's that one friend you're like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about her for 2 years about this business. I'm just going to say it. Just say it because it's all about complimenting. So you guys rock. Love you. And I'll be posting the recording later. Let's go face our fears and have conversations. Andrea, thank you so much. Camille, thank you. Morgan, thank you. Allie, thank you. All right. See you guys. Good night. Mwah.